Well, certainly appreciative of all the efforts that went into today's game and guys finding a way to win. And like I said, you never take it for granted, and it's never easy to win. And to do so, it takes a ton of work and effort, and guys put it out there and had a lot of contributions from a lot of players, and that part was good. And I thought, once again, defense played outstanding. Thought offensively did a good job, especially defensively had a number of takeaways and took advantage of those. Offensively, there's a lot of good.
Jeff.
Paul, it's been a long, slow climb from that difficult start. But the way this team is playing right now, overall, the three units meshing, how well do you think they are in your mind playing as a team?
I think they're playing as a team, and I think it goes back to my gut and what I believed in this team. They do care about each other and would do anything for each other, and I think it's a group that likes playing football. And I think that if you can play off of each other and kind of understand what's going on, that helps. But I think they're definitely appreciate the way they go about each week and kind of make the most of that week. And they've done a good job of, I think, having the focus be really that day, whatever that day is that we're in. And I think it comes from we got really good leadership on this team, and guys respect the process. They respect the game, and it's that's what makes them fun to be around. But they do enjoy each other and care a ton about each other.
Paul, Jack, and Leo put together productive games yet again. How did those two guys complement each other, and what do you think they've added as the tandem that you've got at middle linebacker?
Those two are playing. They're playing really, high level football, and they bring it every day. As good as they're playing, there's others around them that are also helping that. But those two, they love the game and they work at it, and they've got great instincts, and I think Bo does a great job of coaching them, and they love playing the game, and I also think they know they can impact it, and they take that challenge and they put that on themselves. They can make an impact, and they do.
Well, I know you talk about how many different people it takes to make one unit of your offense, running game, passing game, work. What has it been the last few weeks that's made the passing game more effective, and especially on third down, able to convert more often?
Yeah, I think it's that. It's the I thought protection was good today, and I thought guys were running good routes, and I thought for the most part Graham, I thought he saw things well and for the most part made good decisions, and so I think when you have that and you trust each other, then that helps. And bottom line is you got to execute, and they've been doing that, and we got to continue to build on that and grow from it.
Paul, knowing how important Braylon's health is to what you guys have left in front of you this season, how do you know when the right time is to get him out of there?
Yeah, it's you don't. I mean, he's important to us, and I've loved his progression, and you saw today, what he's, and you've seen it before, but what he's capable of, and I think that's where other guys, need to be a part of it, and I think that's where, it's important to get Julius back in the game and for him to be able to finish. I thought he ran hard, but, fourth quarter we put two on the ground, and our defense pitches a shutout and give them 7 points. That's not very good. And it's not that no one wants to go out there and put it on there, but we're going to need more than just Braylon, I believe. and yet, like what Braylon's done and what he gives and brings, and yet, Ship, I thought, came in and has been doing a good job in different roles, but asked him to do a little bit more, and I thought he had some good runs, and so we just got to keep going, and other guys got to keep developing, growing.
Just to follow up to that, with Chaz out, Braylon, obviously his role expands a little bit. I'm curious if you had any sort of conversation with him this week. He's just, to the rest of us, he's 17, but he doesn't act 17 at all. I didn't know if you pull him aside at any point and just kind of see where he's at and how he's going to be handled being the guy going forward.
Yeah, didn't, this week, and didn't feel the need and kind of the way that he approaches it. He is kind of a guy that you trust, and didn't feel like he needs that, and yet he knows how important he is to this group, but he's got a great mix of, he's humble and he's confident, and I think today showed he's got a chance to be special.
Paul, I don't know if you and Jim were asked Monday about Caesar Williams' development over time, but safe to say that pick he made in the end zone, how did that not only stop in that drive, but just flipping the momentum for your team?
I thought it was big, and that's their first drive, and that was a big pick, and I thought he made a great play. It was a strange play, that they hit a big run and then the strip fumble and bounces up, and Cease comes down and makes that. I thought, one of the things I was impressed with, defensively was, when they got into the red zone, we bowed up, and guys made plays, but I thought certainly the first play by Cease, the pick in the end zone was huge.
Paul, when you talk about Graham, he's looked more comfortable in the pocket over the past month or so.
Yeah.
How has he worked on that in practice, or what do you think he's done to get to that level where he's more comfortable?
Yeah, I mean, he's. I think it's a couple things. One is he is working on that, and kind of when things aren't necessarily clean in the pocket, what do you do? And it has been, I think our protection has been pretty good, and guys have been winning their share of routes, so that there's more timing to it. But that's one thing I've appreciated from Graham is that. He's very purposeful in his work and what he's going to do. There's always a couple things each week that we're going to try to focus on, but you continually have to do everything, in the sense of you can't just focus on two things. But I think that's part of the growth, and he's got to continue to grow. But he comes, and it's important to him. And, what drives him, I believe, the most is how can he help this team. That really is what drives him.
You said that you kind of believed in this team all along, but was there any point after the Michigan game, before the start of this winning streak, anything that kind of clued you in, that made you realize y'all were going to be able to recover from this, that you were going to be able, that y'all weren't going to kind of fold the tent and keep going the way you have?
Yeah, I never thought differently, it's not like there was an aha moment, and there was, when we weren't. It comes back to the game. I mean, you have to play and do certain things to give yourself a chance to win, and when you do, you got a better chance, and when you don't, it makes it harder. But I think, they were consistent in their approach, and I thought we had great leadership. Have had it throughout the year, and certainly, when is it more important? Was it that time or is it now to have that great leadership? I think they're both equally important for different reasons, and but there wasn't. They've been who they've been, and I'm proud of that, and that's why this group is special to me.
Paul, Caesar Williams said last week that he thought the hiring of Hank Poteet has kind of worked out as you guys had thought. And it's obvious Caesar and Fayette are playing well, but what about Dean Ingram? He had to play against Rutgers and the play today.
Yeah.
How far has he come since, say, the beginning of the year?
I think certainly he's, there's a potential for more growth in some ways because Dean hadn't played a lot. You know, where Fayon and C's certainly had more experience, you know, more game experience, and absolutely believe that. I'm glad that C's agrees with it, but you know, I you know, with Jimmy and Hank, they're getting a lot of really good coaching, and I think that it's been good for everyone. I think our safeties are playing really well, and I think that helps, and that there's times where Jimmy can help focus on them, and that group, you know, we talk a lot about our front seven, and deservedly so, but I think that group's been playing really well. Torch had a big play today, and I thought, you know, Scott still is showing up and making plays, and so they're all contributing. I think that's what's, you know, our defense is playing really well, and you're getting a lot of contribution from a lot of guys, and that's what I think is fun for me to see.
You saw Danny Davis on punt returns today. What goes into that decision to put him there, and what do you like about what he can do at that spot?
Yeah, you know, I mean, Danny's done it in the past, and you know, kind of as you go through this whole thing, kind of where you're just trying to balance it out and the workloads and opportunities for guys, you know, and so Dean has certainly done it, and Dunner's done it, and Danny, and so I think we'll still kind of see all of them, but it was a chance. You know, I thought did a couple good things in that one. I'd like to have seen the one if we could have fielded it before the end of the first half, and that was frustrating. We didn't finish with points in that drive, but you know what, Danny's he's played a lot of football, and you know, as we keep going, we need all the guys to contribute and help us.